No, you're right.
You're on.
30, 20 minutes. Hi, I'm Ken.
And I'm John.
And we're
All About
tools. Well, it's great to have you folks back. As you can see, it's winter here in Florida. I'm wearing my sweater tonight, and John's toughing it out. But it's cool here, but I'm sure if it's cool here, it's a lot colder.
Absolutely.
Where you are.
The
So-
writer's strike is over, so we decided to come back.
That's right. Our writers were able to work tonight, but now our sound people are on strike.
That's right.
So bear with us because we gain one and we lose the other. But
All right.
but we're back and we're going to do it. And even though if you're watching now, we look like we're miming the show, well, just keep playing with your sound
All right, very good.
and we'll have fun.
What's on for tonight?
Well, we have got a really cool show tonight. As you know, especially if you're going to be going to the Solid Surface Show this coming week, our new catalog is out from
Yes.
Specialty Tools, which
Right.
we're very excited about. And we're really making some wider product availability known to the market. And one of the things is really some of the heavy equipment that we carry for in-shop use.
Yep, we carry the Lobo line, which we're going to show the 10-inch table saw tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And tonight we're going to talk about dust collection as well.
Mm-hmm.
And a really cool thing coming up. Let me hear you talk a minute, and I'm going to get the sample here.
Okay. I'm going to talk for a minute because I don't know where he's gone to. Oh, I know what he's getting. Actually, we have an incredible tool for all of you folks that are into cabinet making and you do cut melamine panels and small veneer panels. And this is
This is the modular scoring saw attachment, and it's actually been around since 1986. I believe it won the Challengers Award at IWF.
You're correct, it did.
And what this does is it turns a normal table saw into a scoring saw.
Mm-hmm.
You have a small scoring blade here, which actually makes the cut wider than the main blade, but we'll get into all that a little bit later. But that's coming up at the end of the show tonight.
Correct, and so we're excited to show people that. That'll be really good.
Right.
So we have a lot to talk about today. So
You
we
want to
probably
start
should get
with
ready to go.
Start with
Yeah,
the
one of the things we wanted to talk about, and we'll actually move over this way, is dust collection. Dust collection is something that most people really don't think about, especially in most smaller shops, without a doubt, because you think that the cost is prohibitive. However, really when you think about it, the cost attributed to not controlling dust is really far higher. In a cabinet shop environment, if you don't control the dust, then when you're finishing your cabinetry or shelving or anything like that,
Right.
and you come from that side of the industry, I just know from talking with cabinet people that if you don't control the environment, then the dust can ruin your finishes.
Oh, absolutely.
Make a lot, really elevate your labor costs because you have to
Right.
go back and do more work to really clean your finishes up before you get the product out the door. But that's only one aspect of it. Perhaps the most critical aspect to not controlling dust is really the health problems that lie down the road.
Right.
And that kind of problems would be no.
I'm just listening to you, Ken.
And really some of the things you really need to pay attention to.
Black
What
lung.
did you
That smoker's cough when you don't smoke.
You're really helping me out, buddy. You're really helping me out here. But really, some of the things that we do know is wood is rated as a carcinogen. Wood dust
Absolutely.
is a known carcinogen by the the CDC and
CIA, I don't know.
OSHA. Oh, how about that's one that'll get your attention. OSHA does rate or list wood dust as a known carcinogen.
Right.
Certainly, a lot of people don't think, but even in some metal shops, some
People don't think.
certainly in the industry I come from, the solid surface industry, there's a lot of very fine dust, and again, that is all it's all ATH and phenolic plastics, and that's really not good to get into your lung. It's not
Right.
presently rated as a carcinogen, but once you load your lungs up,
They always told us it was a nuisance dust. And it's like, yeah, mix that in a glass of water. Well, but there's a lot of ways to.
I'm glad you're helping me out.
There's a lot of
This
ways
is
to
good.
create dust collection. You've got dust collection that's airborne. JDS and some other companies manufacture air systems that hang from the ceiling. So what that does is any dust that is airborne, becomes airborne, is sucked into those and filtered. We've got the Denray dust booth, which is here behind us, and we showed this on one of the shows. And what this actually does is it creates an air movement across in front of you, so as you're working, the airborne dust gets sucked in. Then you have like dust collectors if you're sanding that are actually taking it
Downdraft tables.
Well, downdraft tables, but also like a dust collector on a sander. So while you're sanding, it's being sucked through. And then there's dust collectors like this one from JDS, and this one hooks up to a table saw or to a band saw or a sander, a plane, or anything like that in your shop. So there's different ways to retrieve it. You want to get it as quickly as you can before it comes airborne, but then the airborne can also be picked up by larger dust collectors, different dust collectors.
So really the starting point, as John's pointed out in your dust collection, really would be either ceiling mount or tabletop models, like, again, JDS makes that. It's called a dust buster? I believe it's called the dust...
AirTech.
AirTech.
Yeah, the
AirTech. And again, that will filter the air for you. And that's good in a small shop, a lower dust environment.
Right.
And then again, I mean, there's, something like the Denray dust wall is probably the complete opposite end of that. It's a high volume, just a phenomenal air scrubbing system. And it will definitely keep your environment clean. Those are probably the bottom end and the top end. And then what fills in the in-between is partly what we're going to discuss tonight. Commonly, like the Cyclone dust collectors, and Lobo, the same company that makes the saw we're going to talk about tonight, makes the Cyclone dust collectors.
The Cyclone is the one that actually separates big chunks?
Yes, it separates large, small, and
Which
fine.
this one doesn't. This one,
No.
This one, if you stick a hunk of 2x4 in there, it's going to go through the impellers.
And that's the end of it.
Okay, so this is designed for dust, planer shavings, things like that. It's not going to be, just cut off some wood and throw it in there. But there are dust collectors that will take in big pieces of wood, and then they drop before they go through the impellers. Okay.
So, but tonight, this is probably, before you get to the Cyclones, this is really a great system to start out. For you guys that are just really looking to start controlling debris from your table saw, again from your planers and shapers, stationary sanders, all that type of thing. This is really a great tool to start out with. So
now this is a bag type. Let me just step over here. We've got all these hoses and stuff laying around because we want to show you a neat little device that JDS offers called a dust gate. But in the meantime, this one has a dust bag on the top, and this is a 1-micron dust bag, right, Ken?
that is correct.
Okay, where are you going?
I'm going to turn on our lights. We forgot to turn them on tonight.
Which ones? No, they're on. Oh, you know what? Hold on, folks. We're doing everything wrong tonight. Our producer is not here tonight, as you might know. So look at that. Let there be light. Okay.
I thought we were working in a pretty dark environment here.
Okay, all right. Our producer is off tonight, and we surely miss him, I must say that.
He's a big man.
He's a big man in this place, definitely. Anyway, on this one, this is a 1-micron filter.
Although does it come standard 1 or does it come standard with a 5?
I don't know.
Well, it is available
Where's
both.
our literature on it?
It is. It's over there. It's available in both a 1-micron and a 5-micron.
Would you like me to get it?
Nah.
Okay.
Because we can.
Okay.
We can. I just don't know if it comes standard with the 1-micron. The 5-micron is going to give you a little better free airflow, so you're going to get a little better suction. But you're going to have dust all over the unit. Yes, you're not going to hold the real fine dust. The 1-micron is going to obviously it's going to trap dust all the way down to 1 micron, which is really fine.
Okay.
Which is really fine.
All right. And then the debris goes in the bag here, and then you just unsnap it when it's full and take it and dump it and put it back on, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, this has an off and on switch. What size motor is this, do you know?
Yes, I do. It is a... I'm going to take a look real quick.
You know what? We have it. Where's our product sheet? Is it right around here, Ken?
Yeah, it's right over there, right on the other saw. It's hard to read. It looks like it's a...
Okay, you know, we're just kind of getting back at this. This is like our first show all over again. Here you go. There's everything right there.
Okay. Basically, what it has is a 1.5 horsepower.
Okay.
It's 1250 CFM.
Now, 1250 CFM, that's not with the 1-micron bag on it.
Correct.
It loses around 125 CFM
Correct.
when you put the 1-micron bag on. So the decrease is very little for the...
Well, it's about 10%.
Yeah, but for what you're getting back out of it, it's much better.
Now, again, you would use the 1-micron bag when you're working with very fine dust.
Right.
If you're working with coarser shavings, and this is really the differentiating point. If you're working with joiners or planers, table saws, you're not really concerned about the real fine dust. It's large particle that you're dealing with. If you're dealing with chop saws, using a lot of sanders or stationary sanders, that's when the fine dust really becomes the issue you really want to control.
Okay. So what's happening here is this is actually just blowing up into here and then falling down? Is that it?
That's my understanding. Yeah, it blows right in here. It circles around this chamber. As it goes around, of course, the heavier
Stuff
piece
falls
of
to the
materials, will lose. It'll decelerate as it wraps the chamber, falling into there, spinning and tumbling into there, and the finer air particles will carry up. This inflates, and of course that air blows out.
Now, typically in a small shop, this would be hooked up to more than one or possibly just one piece of machinery. A table saw would be common, bandsaw, a planer, of course, that type of thing. Now, this can be split into two, but you lose.
Correct.
Power.
Coming out of this is essentially a squirrel cage motor. Coming out of the motor, we have a 6-inch port, which is reduced to two 4-inch ports, which then it can be split off of. Now, you're probably pointing out accurately that the minute you go and split it off, you're losing draw. So John was very careful to research this a little bit better for us, and so he has something really great to show us that I think you're going to enjoy.
Oh, we're going to talk about the dust gates now.
Oh yeah, because I think they're cool. I think we can always come back to this. I think this is cool.
JDS offers a product called Dustgate. And
is it anything like Watergate?
No, I don't think so. Hopefully not.
Oh,
Hopefully
okay.
not. Well, it's not that.
Could be like Spygate, like the Patriots.
There you go. This is a Dustgate, and this is really it's a simple little unit, but it's something that's just so cool.
Is this what you were cutting your cigars with earlier today?
You know, that would work.
He buys these cheap cigars at south of the border. They're about that big.
I can hook this up to my sausage maker, and I can cut links. Anyway, what this is a lot of guys will get a dust collector, and they'll hook up all these machines to it, and they'll turn one on, and they'll wonder why there's no suction, because they've opened up all the ports, and you can't have them all open at one time. Well, it's a pain in the neck to go around and make sure that everything's closed.
Now, the reason why you can't have them open at the same time is
because the volume.
Exactly. If you're only moving 1,200 CFM, if you have one line open, you have a lot of suction because you're pulling it all the way to one line. Of course, two lines, you're splitting it, 3, 4, 5 lines. Eventually, you could reduce the CFM to where, when it's going through a large diameter like this, there's no flow.
Now, in our shop, we did have dust gates, but they could be left open, and you wouldn't know it. They'd be on. Oh, gosh. Yeah, we're back. They would be open, and you'd have very little draw at the table saw. But what JDS has come up with is, this is a little electric box, okay? And what you do is you plug this electric box into the wall.
You want to plug that in right down there?
Well, hold on a second. Let me talk about it first.
Okay.
We're going to plug this into the wall,
all right,
or the floor, and then we're going to plug the appliance into this. And there's a 12-volt cable that runs here to this dust gate right here. And the dust gate is designed in such a fashion that it has a micro switch right here. So when it's hooked up, when you open it, it automatically turns the dust collector on. So we don't need the clapper anymore. Okay? We can actually do this.
We did want to have a. It was our thought originally that we would have a clapper and we could clap it on and off.
So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to walk over here, and I am going to plug this into the JDS box, and then I'm going to plug the box into the floor. And you have to make sure that the unit is in the on position. And then what we're going to do is we're going to imagine that this is our table saw inlet, okay? And this could be, let me back up a second. This could be all the way around the wall, and it's a drop port. So it would be a drop, and it would go to your table saw, and the dust gate would be up at the top. So all you're going to do is you're going to pull this, the vacuum comes on.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, that's just, that took that pile away, and you can go ahead and
when you close it, when you're done with the saw, you close it, and the reason that the system works so well is because when you close it, where did it all go?
I don't know. I just noticed there's no dust in there.
I don't know. It went somewhere.
That's a pretty, so I've heard about tools like that.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't have a clamp on this. I just put a wire tie on here. But anyway, what would happen would be when you're done with your saw or planer or whatever, you turn the dust gate off, the collector goes off. And when someone else turns their machine on, they open the dust gate, and it goes on automatically.
Now, something I noticed is on this, it's dimpled all over the face. I didn't know if perhaps this is designed to only open partially, which is enough to turn it on, obviously, because of the micro switch. And that would make even stronger dust flow, wouldn't it? Actually, the more you open it, the stronger it gets.
Yeah, I would think so.
But I wonder if that's why it was dimpled. I don't know.
I don't know. No idea. If we had the manufacturer here, they'd be able to tell us.
Yeah, but the manufacturer doesn't like it.
So they sell a kit that's a starter kit, actually. And what it includes is one dust gate and the
Two dust
control
gates, right?
box. No, that's the add-on kit.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you get one of these, you get the control box, and you get 100 feet of the 12-volt wire.
Mm-hmm.
And I hooked this up in about, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes before you got here tonight to try it out, and it works great.
And it's simple to hook up, just like our old train sets when
Yep.
we were kids. It's
Right.
just real simple to hook up.
Okay, so that's all we need to talk about there.
On those gates. So what the gates, again, allow you to do, and now we'll come back over here to our dust collector. Let me unplug this real quick. Ooh. Again, now this is one style, but really what being able to use something like those dust gates do, any sort of a dust collection system you choose to go with, again, it's not going to work with one of the tabletop or ceiling tech units, because those generally just work with the air in general.
Right, those
of course,
off and on.
It wouldn't work with the Denray system, because that controls the dust in the whole environment.
Right.
But what we're talking about are dust collectors that, in essence, really work from the ports of individual tools. And that could be, again, miter saws or sanders, hand sanders that would work off of reducer lines.
Right.
All the way up, again, to items like table saws or joiner planers, anything like that would use a large port like this. But what it allows you to do is use something like this, or again something like the any of the Cyclone units, and it makes that far more efficient.
Right.
So when you're using any sort of a bag item like this, and again you're just running your tools and the gates are generally open, and you're saying, gee, I wish my dust system were better because it's really inefficient, that may not be the case. What it really may be is the matter of you really needing to gate your lines.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Right.
then you're really making the tool work as efficiently as it can.
And another thing I found out today when I was talking to the manufacturer about reducers, you're supposed to run a large line right up to the piece of equipment and then reduce it. You don't want to run a small line for a long way to a 4-inch line.
Because
So
it
that's-
creates a lot of restriction.
Exactly. So that's another thing.
So
to
it's
know.
the same thing. Really not too different at all from when you run like air conditioning at your home. You don't want to, or even heating. If you have a lot of restrictions and elbows, I mean, your furnace may be fine. Your air conditioner may be fine, and moving the air as well as could, be expected or needed. But the more restrictions you create, the more inefficient you make the system.
Right.
So the same thing again applies to, again, a tool like this. It doesn't look huge, but nonetheless it is efficient in the proper application. In the small shop, this would be all that would ever be needed. You just need to make the tool operate efficiently to realize the full maximum benefit of what it can do for you.
Right.
So this can certainly, again, it can certainly really clean up your environment. It can make the air in your shop much healthier. It can make you and your employees healthier. And that even plays out as guys having colds during the year. How bad their allergies. If you already have some sort of a sinus problem in the springtime because of pollen, just being in a dusty shop is going to take that and make it even worse, and it's going to reduce the efficiency of your work staff.
Does JDS make Cyclone units? Do you know?
I don't believe they do. I believe the Cyclones, again, you have to...
No, they do. They do. And I don't know anything about it, but I remember they just came out with one last year.
Okay.
So if you do look up JDS or you look online, I believe we've got a couple of those up. But I guess we're going to go to commercial break here in just a couple of minutes. And again, we're a little bit kind of...
We're fuzzy?
We're off schedule tonight just because our producer's out and it's our first day back and we're just kind of not all together here. So anyway,
Of course,
we'll be
we're
back
like that every
we'll be
week
back
anyway.
after the commercial break, and we'll be talking about the Lobo table saw next. We'll be right back. Thanks.
I saw these when these came to the show, and it's been like many other tools that I've discovered since doing the show. When I saw these, I was really amazed. And to PT Industries, the manufacturer of these stands for us, hey, you guys do make a really great product, and probably owe them an apology to a degree.
Yep.
These things are incredible. I have sawhorses that we used to carry in the back of our truck.
Those plastic ones you buy for $20.
No, mine were steel,
Oh,
but they're big and heavy.
$25.
Big and heavy. No, these were big money too. But they were big and heavy, and the plastic ones that you get at the home center are, just frankly, junk. They really are truly throwaway. You use them a few times, and are you having a problem?
Yeah, these are not real easy to put together, though, I'll tell you that.
Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain. Oh, and the fun times start again.
All right.
You need help there?
No, I can do it. I can do it.
There you go.
You got a commercial going?
Help you out there.
Yeah, okay.
It's really not a
Thanks.
two-man setup.
Yeah.
But
Well.
but the point is these are very light. This is all 1/8-inch aluminum wall, square tubular steel.
Yep.
As you can see this way, I don't know which camera will grab that. But so they're very strong. The square tubular steel is once again very strong.
All right, so once you get this built, what do you do with it?
Well, then you take it and
Look at that. All right. Oh, this is nice.
this is actually great. And it should be pointed out these come in 4-foot, 8-foot, and 12-foot lengths.
Right, and we have one fabricator, Ernie, who was on our show one week. Right, Ernie was here, right?
He was.
God. Yeah. Anyway, he works out of the back of his truck. On a trailer, and he actually cut one of these to 2-foot, and he just uses it since it's a small portable area. If he just has to support one end of like an L-top or something, he uses the 2-foot section. Doesn't really draw them together.
So, and once again, it should be said, this is just what this is aluminum, and I'm probably not going to say this right, but
It's aluminium.
No, aluminum angle iron. Although iron, I'm sure, is not the right word since it's aluminum.
It's aluminum angle.
Aluminum
How about
angle.
that?
Okay,
aluminum
there it
angle,
is.
right.
Okay, so
but it's really aluminium.
Okay,
That's
aluminum.
really what it's pronounced.
Okay.
Ask Trevor from
whatever he said. And
Okay.
you can buy this, well, not obviously, but you can buy the stands by themselves,
right.
or you can buy them with the aluminum angle.
Right, but if you're going to try to buy the angle locally, you have to make sure that you buy extruded aluminum that doesn't have an inside web. This is 90 degrees on the inside, and that's very important for the way it works into the stand.
Now, you could also use steel if you wanted to.
You could, absolutely.
And that would be something easy to obtain locally, probably cheaper than the aluminum.
Right.
I'm going to let John show you all the different ways you can configure this.
Well, obviously, Ken, you can put this in, that fits in like that, or you can turn it around, and you get a more narrow working surface.
Okay, which is the way we have it set up now.
Or you can stand it up on edge like this, or you can turn it around and stand it up on edge like this, or you can flip this around and get a wider, higher area too. So no matter what you want to do, and then all you do is when you get the